Hey guys, this is David Meyer with HJS Wargaming Studios. I want to thank you all for tuning in for part 4 for painting Roboute Guilliman. Well, we're almost done with this series, and before I get started, I'd like to ask each and every one of you to please subscribe to our channel and hit that little bell so that you'll know when we post new content. If you already subscribed, thank you very much. Please comment below if you have any suggestions or any comments or questions. We'll be happy to respond to you. We're going to spend a little time on the purity seals in this particular video, and then we're going to spend a lot of time on the backpack to the Armor of Fate. So we're going to get started here in just a second, but again, thank you so much for watching. Okay, all right, we're getting started with Kislev Flesh. Now, that's an airbrush paint that I'm using, mixture actually, but just so that I can go right from the pot onto the oath paper there, I can get started and get this thing done quicker. I do that from time to time. I'll use the airbrush quality paint from time to time. I don't add any water to it unless I absolutely have to, but I don't do that in this particular model. So using the Kislev Flesh on all the oath papers that are part of the purity seals. Now, if it looks like I am painting very fast, well, I'm not. The video is sped up for time reasons. So, but I'm trying to get both sides of the purity seals, oath papers. So just painting away on each one using the Kislev Flesh. So now we're doing on the left knee, the scroll marking. On that scroll marking, later on, I actually put some letters on it. I don't have that recorded, but I use transfer letters, and they're like Gothic letters that I put on there. And to add in, I think it's the word ultra is what I put on there. So. But hey, before I forget, I wanted to ask that each and every one of you please subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribing to our channel is a big deal for us. We want you guys to know when we update new content to the channel. This is part 4 of the series, and we'll be concluding this series, I believe, in part 5, and we'll be moving on and concluding it. So I'm using Abaddon Black there on the tubes and wires on the back that connect to the backpack, which we'll get to in a minute. We're going to spend the rest of the video pretty much on the backpack portion of the Armor of Fate after this. So that will conclude out this video though. So just putting the touches of the Abaddon Black on the tubes and wires that come out of the Armor of Fate and connect to the backpack area. And I want to ask that if you guys could please go ahead and ask questions or make comments below. We really like y'all's feedback, good or bad, it doesn't matter. That's what makes us better. We can make the videos you guys want and the way you guys want them. So this is the backpack that goes on the Armor of Fate. Now, if you watched video 1, you would have seen how I painted the top portions of the backpack with the blue and the gold trim. So we're doing Gehenna Gold, Mephiston Red, Kislev Flesh, White Scar, some Nuln Oil, and for some highlights, Evil Sun Scarlet. So we're going to get started, and we're going to be using those colors in succession. Well, I should say we're just going to start using them at random. So rather than point to them every time, I just showed them at the very beginning. So you can always back up and see what videos there were. So what I'm doing is I'm using the Gehenna Gold, and all I'm doing is painting the ends of where the wires connect on the inside. Kind of give it that coppery look to it, so that it's that electrical look, if you will. So it's kind of, whenever I think electrical, I think of the copper connections and so forth. So this is just my thinking. So yeah, so I'm still using that, painting in some of the other copper, make it look copper connections. And also I'm going to be painting also there's a handle on there that I didn't know or realize was there later on, but I'll get to that in a minute. So now we're using the Mephiston red, painting those wires that are coming out, as you can see, of the copper connections that are now painted the gold. They're using red wires. So lots of detail on this back of this backpack. You would be amazed at how much detail is in this one small little part. So I added a color, McCrag Blue. This is where I saw the handle that is on the back, so I painted that quickly real blue. So there's a Purity Seal, painting that the Mephiston red. And there's the old paper, Kislev Flesh on that. Using the Gehenna Gold again. Getting those little tiny spots in between, again, making it look like the brass, copper connections on the inside. Okay, Gehenna Gold still. Doing the trim on the handle in the back area. Always remember to use that 3-position grip. My elbows are on the table, believe it or not. I know Mom probably told us not to put our elbows on the table, but in this case we are. It's what gives us a secure grip, and we can paint very steadily. Okay, now we're jumping over to doing a little bit of highlighting on the wires using the Evil Sun Scarlet on the wiring. If I remember correctly, this particular part took me about 3 hours to do, total paint time. That's a long time for one little part. Have it on black. Again, if you guys like the video, please hit that like button. Let's go ahead and subscribe as well. We really appreciate that. And then hit that bell if you want to know that when we produce new content, you can be alerted to it as soon as we do. And got questions, comments, or just any kind of input, we greatly appreciate if you guys just let us know. So we're doing a little highlight here with Lothran Blue on that little handle down there. Sorry, I can't zoom in close enough. Now we're hitting the white scar. Mix a little water in. Always mix water with your paints. Now I'm painting the little screen white. Now later on I'm going to change the color to that to make it look like a little screen monitor. You'll see how I do that in a little bit. So we're going to leave that white the way it is. Let that dry. You see it's starting to come together now. Paint little encryptions on there. Looks like handwriting. Don't ask me what it says. I can't read it. Moving over to the green wash. And here's how I do the little green screen on the back to make it look like a green monitor screen. Like life support, heartbeat, who knows what that says on the back. But just going to improvise and make it up as we go. So now I'm also using the purple wash on the purity wax seal. So that's what I'm using. So now I'm using a brown wash on the oath papers to shade them in. You can see we've got a lot of detail on this part now. A lot of different stuff painted. There's so much work into this one little component. Now we're going to do some shading on the metal parts. The gray metal parts. Here we go. I always like using Nuln Oil. It's the talent in a box. Or talent in a bottle, if you will. Shades everything. Just don't use it on white unless you want it to look dirty. So guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our video here. This is part 4 of painting Roboute Guilliman. I ask you guys to subscribe, comment below, hit that like button. You know, let's hear from you. We want to hear from you. Refer your friends to our channel. We're just getting started. We're new. I'd like to hear feedback. You know, what are we good at? What do we need improvement? What did you like? What do you want to see? Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. This is Dave with HCX Wargaming Studios. Thanks and have a good day.